Hello gamers, my name is Duma and welcome to the Game Room. Okay, we have the Sorcerer version of the Blade Slinger today. This is both the group build and the group DPS build. Here's the deal dudes, I have well over a dozen plus builds right now cooking, and if I spend the usual explanation time and video editing, I'll never get them all out with new stuff along with the playtesting needed. I'm already slowly getting further and further behind each day. I have to start temporarily cutting corners on guides a bit, and I figured you'd rather have more builds with a bit less explanation, and you can always ask me questions about them rather than less builds with a longer explanation and leaving some really fun stuff sitting on the shelf collecting dust. So a much more slimmed down version today. I hope you understand. This build here for the Nightblade is the original and main video to explain the playstyle and all the nuances of the new spammable. If this is new for you and you want to learn more about it, I recommend checking this one out. You'll learn quite a lot from it. Quick receipts for this build so you know what's going on. St. Lothus down solo, so it gets the Immortal tag and one of the fastest clears in the series at just over 7 minutes. Veteran Vateshran, obviously no issues. I did die a few times testing things out, but once we got it locked in, it was smooth sailing. Group DPS is just outrageous for stuff like dungeons. The level of instant AoE you pump out is just silly, and then it parses at 80k, but this is the same kit that you can do the crazy AoE with no changes. So it's bringing way more to the table than just an 80k parse. I could have easily increased this parse number quite a lot with some changes to make it more attractive, but I wanted to keep the kit actually functional and content with the intent of the build. I'll be getting the written guide up for you probably in the next few days as well over at the GAMEROOM.tv. Let's go. You want a stamina based race with Dark Elf being the most damage, 64 points in stamina. We're going to be using the Lover Mundus for solo content like Veteran Arenas and the Thief Mundus for group content. Artaeum Takeaway Broth food or Lava Foot food for maximum damage, and tripods for both setups. The engine behind the entire build is the Storm Curse set and the Sorcerer class script. The same concept as this build if you're familiar with it. When you deal shock damage, Storm Curse gives you a 50% chance to apply more shock damage to enemies and a few surrounding mobs, and then the class script deals shock damage to all enemies around your target when throwing your knife. When you put them together, you get this. And you can see them here in the AoE log pumping out crazy damage. On the single target log, these aren't nearly as crazy, roughly in line with your burning and poison status effects, but any boss with any sort of adds, and it gets wild fast with damage ramping up. Here's the gear setup for solo content and group content. For solo content, we bring in Hexos, and for the group content, Pillar of Nirn. Traits and enchants are there for you. Note the double charge traits on daggers. This is going to bring solid concussion damage to the table from all the shock damage. Take note of the Reaving Blows CP for solo content, and then you don't want celerity here. I'm actually just now seeing this for the first time. I didn't have Bastion. You definitely want Bastion to juice your Hexos shielding. And because we have Reaving Blows, the faster and more you press your buttons, the more healing you'll get, primarily from knife. And then in dungeons, if you're hurting for stamina, you can always swap out Celerity for Bloody Renewal. Abilities are here for both. Basic sorcerer skills are pretty standard, but I'm going to break it down for you quickly. Shattering Knife is the main spammable. With the multi-target script, it throws an AoE nuke at mobs every spammable, giving you huge AoE damage and solid single target damage. Then the class script we just explained, and for the final script, you can use what you like. Lifesteal never hurts, and I used it for both versions. Do not replace Lightning Flood on either setup because of the damage interval of 1 second per tick versus 2 seconds per tick. This gives more procs per time of your Storm Curse set. For the solo bar, make sure Crit Surge stays up for healing, and then you have Dark Deal for a sustain tool and heals as needed. If you set up the build exactly as shown with no creative freedoms or no oversights, use Flood on cooldown and use Dark Deal when needed, you shouldn't have sustain problems. If you do, you're mismanaging that aspect of the bar. I was able to fight St. Lothus solo for 7 minutes straight, which is a trial boss with mostly no issues. There's a little finesse to it. You'll have to feel it out for how fast you're pressing buttons, but it's not too hard. For the group DPS bar, very simple. Keep Crit Surge, Boundless Storm, and Lightning Flood timers rolling. Use frags as they come available and drop ulti on CD. Parsing is the same, except you don't need Crit Surge rolling. There's no rotation. And that's it, gamers. I really don't like rushing guides like this, but I kind of have to for a little bit to get these guides out, or they're just going to sit on the shelf forever, and I'm sure I missed some stuff due to it. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll try to help you out. I'll leave you some gameplay so you can see it in action. Again, the written guide will be up on the website in the next few days. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.